Good morning, the Minister of Police Affairs, Alhaji Mohammed Maigari Dingyadi. Good morning, DIG, the entourage of the Minister. Good morning, Chairman, Presidential Communication Team. Good morning, our distinguished guests. Good morning, members of the press. For those of you that have been following us, you know that we actually start this program on schedule, but today we have a little bit of presidential movement which has affected the timing a little bit. But by there now, we start. The issue of insecurity in the country with its attendant multifaceted approaches to combat it has been on the front burner of this administration's activities. There has been no let-up in the efforts of the security agencies in bringing this scourge to a manageable level. The Ministry of Police Affairs is equally up and doing in its activities towards reassuring Nigerians that it is capable, it is doing its best, and it is ready to rise up to these challenges. This morning's briefing will therefore feature the Honorable Minister of Police Affairs, Alhaji Mohammed Maigari Dingyadi. He will brief the stakeholders, gentlemen of the press, those watching us online, on the current status of policing and security in the country and provide insight into key updates from the presidential roadmap on police reform. The briefing will throw more light on ongoing innovative strides being executed in the Nigerian police and the impact that the implementation of the police reforms will have on internal security in the country. As the usual format, the minister will come here, he will speak for about 30 minutes, after which he will take questions from gentlemen of the press here and those watching us online. On this note, I would like to invite the Honorable Minister to come and speak to us while he awaits our questions. Honorable Minister, sir.
The Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Police Affairs, the Deputy Inspector General of Police, my brothers, the Senior Special Assistant to Mr. President of Media, the AIG, the guarantee in the Office of the Chief of Staff, who is heading the technical team on police reforms, and his other members of his technical team, the Acting Secretary Police Trust Fund. I cannot see the Commandant Police Academy, maybe he's on his way coming. Distinguished members of the press, our dear countrymen and women who are watching us on this platform, very great platform for that matter, ladies and gentlemen, that the anchor of this program said, I will this morning attempt to highlight some of the efforts that the government is making, and in particular the Ministry of Police Affairs, in the efforts to reform the police and to ensure that the police that we are providing to this country are citizen-centered, are properly motivated, to ensure that we maintain law and order for the good of this country. You will recall that the Ministry of Police Affairs was established on 21st August 2019 by Mr. President to, among other things, give attention to re-equipping, retooling of the police, remodeling the policing infrastructure, drive government community policing initiative, and promote commitment to duty through improvement of welfare arrangements for our policemen and women in this country. This briefing, therefore, seeks to highlight the current state of Nigeria's internal security with emphasis on policies and programs aimed at reforming the police and remodeling Nigeria's internal security framework. The accompanying submissions will also enunciate some achievements of the Ministry of Police Affairs in promoting active citizen engagement for brighter internal security outlook through policies and programs such as domestication of community policing, police specialized services automation project, resuscitation of police public complaints committee, enhanced police welfare, enactment of police academy bill into law, improve manpower requirement in Nigeria through police recruitment of 30,000 constables, facilitation of information communication technology for biometric data capturing, and the establishment of the best West African police information system, that is WAPIS, for intelligence gathering in sub-Saharan Africa. The Ministry of Police Affairs has Nigerian Police Force, Nigerian Police Academy in Wudil, and the Police Trust Fund at the three agencies under its supervision who have been saddled with the responsibility of supporting the vision and mission of Mr. President to ensure that police in this country are citizen-centered and are civil in the performance of their duties. State of Nigerian internal security. When we try to use graphical illustration as shown on the map above, the map is not there. Can we have the map? It has been established that certain security threats are associated with some geographical corridors. As you can see, the Northeast, for instance, has a history of Boko Haram campaign against harmless citizens since 2009. These harmless terrorists subsequently formed alliance with the Islamic State of West Africa province, that is ISWAP, where they unleashed destructive terrorist activities on the zone. However, a fierce military might with police support has degraded the terrorist capability and dislodged them from the hitherto strong base in the northeast. They have now gone back into their cocoons, engaging in hit and run guerrilla tactics. In the northwest, following onslaught on Boko Haram and its affiliate groups in the northeast, the dissident elements in a desperate survival attempt now synergize with bandits operating in the northwest and the parts of north central, particularly the Middle Belt region. This ugly trend is currently receiving commensurate attention through deployment of human and operational assets to neutralize the menace. In the short term, the Nigerian police air component has been deployed to monitor major terrain in affected areas, conduct reconnaissance and offensive on criminal enclaves within the corridor. In the southeast, security in the southeast came under severe threat following violent attacks on security formations and civilians by militant Biafran separatist groups. Sustained security operations in this region has in recent times localized their operations to Imo and Anambra states, while government continue to employ strategies to engender peace and security in the entire southeast. South-South. Unlike the southeast, South-South region is relatively free from violent criminalities. However, there are isolated cases of kidnap, ransom, and armed robbery, and it's been dealt with by the police and other security agencies. A special task force against all theft set up by the Inspector General of Police is operating in the zone to check illegal bunkering and other related economic sabotage. Southwest region. Security situation in the southwest is similar to that of the south-south. Instances of oil theft in this zone has also been reduced to the barest minimum. Police reforms. The task of reforming the Nigerian police began on June 24, 2019, when President Muhammad Buhari signed the Nigerian Police Trust Fund bill into law. This law seeks to actualize the vision and mission of Mr. President for the police to provide additional sources of funding with a view to mobilizing the police force. This has since been made operational by the Ministry of Police Affairs to realize its laudable objectives, such as insulating police financing. The fund has successfully delivered on its 2020 and 2021 budgets with purchase of operational vehicles, arms and ammunition, bulletproof vests, helmets for police operations. The fund also purchased medical items to meet the health needs of policemen nationwide, while offices and residential accommodation for the police have also received facelift. Similarly, on September 16, 2020, President Muhammad Buhari assented to the Nigerian Police Bill 2020, which repealed the obsolete Police Act Cap 19 laws of the Federation 2004. This composite document has elicited an array of ongoing reforms in the Nigerian police to ensure sustainable reformation of the police and make it accountable and deeply rooted. The federal government also approved the setting up of a police reform technical team in the office of the SGF to coordinate efforts geared towards achieving this lofty aim. Like I introduced some of them, they are already here with us. Some of them are already in police uniform, they are in blue, the technical team, and I'm glad to say that they have been doing well, and it is gratifying to report that a lot has been achieved in this direction, and a particular reference is the technical assessments of the premier training colleges in Maiduguri, Kaduna, Lagos, and Enugu. Upward review of recruitment procedures and training curriculum in these institutions is also under consideration. Development of promotion and leadership courses at all levels in these institutions are also being reviewed by the technical committee. Overall, the Presidential Police Reform Team will in due course harmonize submissions with that of a similar committee at the ministerial level to evolve 21st century and a nimble-footed policing architecture in Nigeria. The newly approved enhanced emolument for the police personnel further underscores government's commitment to entrenching welfare being a key component of police reforms under this administration. All the necessary computations to guide the payment of the new salary package have been completed and forwarded to the Ministry of Finance, Budget and National Planning for implementation, which is expected to commence very, very, very soon. Operationalization of the Police Trust Fund. As mentioned in the previous slide, the Nigerian Police Trust Fund was established by President Muhammad Buhari to mobilize the required funds for adequate implementation of the police programs, projects, and build a well-equipped and motivated Nigerian police force. The fund has continued to deliver on its mandates, as shown in the slides that are coming on the screen. You can see some of the Buffalo pickup vehicles that we have handed over to the police force. And you can also see the bulletproof helmets, some of them that we just displayed, and the bulletproof vests that the Police Trust Fund has supplied. You can see the minister on the screen commissioning the presentation of these vehicles to the Inspector General of Police. Resuscitation of National Public Security Communication System. You are already aware that the ministry has obtained approval from the Federal Executive Council for the concession of the moribund National Public Security Communication System, which was installed in all states of the Federation, I think with the exception of Borno State, by previous administration. And they could not do it in Borno because of the security challenges at that time. This initiative is aimed at reviving this project due to its critical importance in the security architecture of the country. When fully operational, happenings in all parts of the country will be monitored in real time from the command and control center for proactive policing and prompt response to situations. Efforts are currently ongoing by the concessionaire, that is to say NPS Technology, to revive this project. The concessionaire has taken over the facilities and currently pursuing issuance of Universal Access Service License from the National Communications Commission to commence full-scale operation. You can see the minister here signing the concession agreement supported by the permanent secretary, while the concessionaire is signing the second copy of the agreement on the other side. We also have the Police Specialized Automation Project that is called POSAP. In a bid to block financial leakages, deepen accountability and mitigate funding gaps for policy in Nigeria, the ministry recently secured Federal Executive Council approval for Police Specialized Services Automation Project, POSAP. If you recall that at one time I was here when I briefed you on the approval which you granted, which the FEC granted the ministry for this project. This project is envisaged that in the medium and long-term period, the project will deliver economic benefits and improved efficiencies for the police as follows. The automated process will bring about efficiency in eliminating subjectivity, lack of transparency in resource allocation and utilization, will increase the general working condition for the entire police force, advance the public perception and image of the Nigerian police force, while improving professionalism. 3, ensure significant contribution to government funds by virtue of better revenue reporting and operational surpluses. It will also generate complementary revenue to the police force in order to mitigate the huge impact of poor budgetary allocations of the police. It will position the Nigerian police force for effective resource sufficiency in meeting its statutory service obligations. It will also promote transparency, probity, and accountability by eliminating the unethical activities of middlemen or facilitators associated with the manual system that used to happen. For purposes of emphasis, the implementation of the Police Specialist Service Automation Project is primarily targeted at the generality of sectors and individuals who are seeking police specialized services such as special protection services for oil and gas and telecommunication sectors. Number 2, special protection and gas services for banking and financial services. Number 3, special protection and gas services for hospitality, real estate, and fast-moving consumer goods sectors. I'm happy to say that arrangements have been completed for the takeoff of the program next week, I understand, next week. I want to appeal to individuals and organizations seeking for police special protection services to cooperate with the police for the success of the program. We are aware that there are individuals and organizations that are using police that are not, I wouldn't say not properly accounted for, but this time around with this automation project, we'll make sure that only police services that are required are being extended to people who really show cause for need for the services of the police. So we want to sincerely appeal for the understanding of the general public in the implementation of this program so that we'll do it to the best of the ability and for the good of policing and security of the country. Resuscitation of the Police Complaints Committee. In a bid to reawaken citizens' trust, eliminate apathy for successful implementation of community policing initiative, to improve citizens' participation in policing and human intelligence, the ministry embarked on resuscitation drive for Police Public Complaints Committee. This committee has embarked on sensitization campaign expected to cover the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. The maiden edition of the Southwest took place in Lagos in November 2021, while that of the Northwest took place in Sokoto State in February 2022. Similar campaign for the North Central took place in Lokoja, Kogi State Capital, in March 2022, while arrangements are on to conclude this rally in the 3 other geopolitical zones, with the next campaign slated for 26 May 2022 in Cross River State for South-South geopolitical zone. The purpose of this sensitization campaign is to encourage citizens to report cases of police infractions against them for necessary action by the committee. I want to appeal to Nigerians to take advantage of the existence of this committee and to put up complaints that are of actual and genuine concern to them for consideration by the committee. We want to assure Nigerians that we are doing this for transparency and we are doing this for the good of the police themselves and for the fact that the police is now becoming as civil as possible, and Nigerians should be given the opportunity to report to the police what the police are doing for them, just how the police are reporting civilians on what they are doing to their fellow civilians. We should be working hand in hand. The police are friends of the citizens, so citizens should also see themselves as friends of the police. And I think that is the only way to go forward, and I'm happy to say that the situation is improving by the day, and we look forward to more excellent relations with Nigerians. And with the vision and mission of this administration, we want to assure you that Nigerians, to ensure Nigerians that the police are out there for them, and they should take advantage of that position. What you are seeing on the slide is when we went around for the campaign on this committee. I think we were in Lagos, like I mentioned, in Sokoto, and in Kogi State. Implementation of community policing program. The implementation of community policing initiative of the current administration, being one of the priority deliverables of the ministry, also received great attention. It is also to note that about 25,000 constabularies are trained in several police colleges across the country. The successful officers who were trained on basic police duties, modern intelligence gathering techniques, rule of law, etc., were deployed to their communities to aid in intelligence gathering and improve police visibility in their communities. A sensitization workshop was also organized to canvass for robust inclusiveness of all stakeholders so that people can appreciate the benefit and the importance of community policing as initiated by the administration of President Muhammad Buhari. Purchase of fuel for police commands nationwide. The problem facing fueling of police operational vehicles is something that is well known to all of you. We used to see police officers running around with gallons or containers trying to get a gallon or some liters to fuel their operational vehicles. That situation is gradually easing now with the ministry securing approval from Mr. President for the supply of fuel to police commands nationwide. This gesture aimed at improving operational efficiency of the police was carried out in 3 tranches at a total cost of 2.75 billion naira under the 2021 budget. We endeavored to go into this project because we realized that no matter the number of vehicles that we have in a command, if you cannot properly fuel them, the operational purpose for which they were deployed to the commands will not be achieved because the vehicle cannot move without fueling. And the money at the state commands is not sufficient enough to run the commands and fuel the vehicles that are being sent. Just within 1.5 years, we were able to provide the police with over 300 vehicles. So if you don't provide fuel for these vehicles, there is no way you can support the operational activities that they are performing. So that is why we are paying special attention to this, and I'm happy to report that it is yielding positive results. The senior police officers are very appreciative of the project, and we intend to continue with it, courtesy of Mr. President and courtesy of the National Assembly. We have also supported the project. The ministry, through the Police Academy Wudil, which you are all aware is a degree awarding institution for the police, Wudil, graduated and conducted the passing out of 637 cadets on 14th December 2019 as Superintendent of Police. The POLAC also admitted 1,295 undergraduates for the 2019-2020 academic session. Additionally, they have also graduated and passed out 603 ASPs in 2018, 627 cadets ASPs in 2019, and 418 cadet ASPs in the 2021 academic year. Further to this, the recruitment of 40,000 constables approved by President Muhammad Buhari in tranches of 10,000 per batch is now in its third batch. When completed in July 2022, it will improve manpower requirement in Nigerian police by 30,000, in addition to the ASPs that are being graduated by Paula Kano between 2019 to date. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, in summary, several operational equipments were purchased by the Nigerian Police Force in our efforts to reform and re-equip police operations. Some of these equipments include arms and ammunition, surveillance drones, personal protective equipment and leather weapons, that is bulletproof vests and helmets, upgrade of facilities in some police training institutions, procurement and the installation of intelligence equipment at Force Headquarters Abuja, Force Headquarters Annex in Lagos, Zone, Headquarters Kano and Zone 2 Headquarters Lagos at the cost of 1.1 billion naira. Construction and provision of hospitals, health centers for police personnel in various states of the Federation. Several other interventions are also being undertaken and funded by the Nigerian Police Trust Fund for the police. These include construction of special force base at Suba at the cost of 1.7 billion, construction of special force base in Gusau, Zamfara State at the cost of 1.4 billion, establishment of Nigeria Cyber Crime Control Center in Abuja at the cost of 841 million, reconnaissance survey, design, rehabilitation and modernization of Police Detective College in Enugu at the cost of 1.2 billion, construction and equipping of FCT Command Abuja at the cost of 1.3 billion. Most of these projects are ongoing, while some of them are taking off very, very soon. In line with the unwavering determination of Mr. President to address the myriads of security challenges which had bedeviled the country over the years, the ministry is poised to do its best to work out strategy and contribute to efforts towards repositioning the Nigerian police force for the protection of lives and property and to ensure a sustainable economic growth and development. May I at this juncture appeal to Nigerians to take ownership of policing endeavors through active collaboration and intelligence sharing. While it will be proper to divulge proper security strategies, the role of human intelligence in placing sustainable internal security cannot be overemphasized. It is always said that security is the business of all Nigerians. So we should take ownership and ensure that we give the police every support that is necessary to enable them perform more effectively. What is important is for you to do what you can do. Keep watching, keep vigil, share intelligence, support the police, and the police will support you. I thank you most sincerely for listening, and I wish you all the best. Thank you. I don't know whether I have to stand here to ask questions. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. I believe the issue of there's no country that is immune to these infractions in security. Even the most advanced countries, they have all these issues. It's just the level of reportage and the publicity given to these things in this country that changes, In our own climate, here, it's like we know bad news sells, but maybe we need to sometimes look at these things. Nobody says you shouldn't report. As journalists, part of our responsibilities is to report what is going on. But maybe there's a way we can manage this news. The Honorable Minister has spoken. At least we can see that the ministry is really trying to confront the challenges. Despite lean resources, the government still makes stuff available to them, and they've been judiciously using it. Pictures don't lie. Now from his presentation, let's take questions. Wakil Farouk. Sir, we'll take the questions in 4 batches. Farouk, Wakil, the Sun, and Business Day.
Director, thank you for telling us to report objectively, and we'll ask questions objectively too. My name is Bello Wakili. I report for Radio Nigeria. So aside the fact that Nigerian police salary is nothing to write home about, it's not encouraging, I still want to talk on the welfare. If you go to Nigerian police barracks in the country, you notice that even when government approved money for renovation of the barracks, since when I was in primary school, you only notice that they only renovate the first, second block. If you enter inside the barrack, there is nothing. The barrack is so dilapidated. I know of police barrack that stays for more than 5 years without lights and water. How do you expect Nigerian police to give in their best in such situation?
My name is Hassan Umar Farouk. I report for Liberty Radio and Television. Nigerians from where I'm from, I'm Hassan Umar Farouk from Liberty Radio and Television. Nigerians from where I'm from, precisely Katsina State, are of the belief that giving the right equipment to police will mitigate the scourge of banditry, most especially in Northwest and North Central. For instance, Katsina State Police Command performs better than any other security agency in Katsina, with just only one APC. Everybody can testify to that, including the governor. But we can see on the slides how the ministry is distributing equipment, but it's only in the slides, only in Abuja you can see all these cars. Even the healthy, nourished, and well-dressed police officers are in Abuja. When you go to Katsina, you won't see any of them. So, my question to the minister is, how are you ensuring all these equipment are cascading, if I can use the word, to the right divisions? In Musawa, in Matazu, in Tafana, Ojibiawa, all these things is taking place. Thank you very much, sir.
Who's the next person?
Okay. Good morning, Honorable Minister. Mine has to do with what? Okay. My name is Juliana Taiwo Baloyin of the Sun newspapers. So I'd like to find out, recently the acting chair of EFCC was promoted. That's Ibrahim Magu. I'd like to know why the recommendation of the Justice Alami's panel committee was ignored and he was promoted. And I'd like to know the latest on Deputy Commissioner of Police, Abba Kyari, on his suspension and the rest. Thank you.
All right. Honorable Minister, my name is... Okay. Okay, sir. My name is Tony Ailemen. I write for Business Day newspapers. Modern police or policing is no longer the use of Chakabula, AK-47 and all that. It thrives better on the deployment of technology, precisely CCTVs and other equipment that aid easy and early detection of crimes, and in most cases, aid prevention also. What are you doing to ensure, sir, that you work on this more than the kinetic approach to security issues? Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I was thinking that, and I believe I'm right, the pressmen are friends of the police. I remember very well during NSAS protests how you are very supportive to the, particularly on the issue of order of the police. So I believe you will be there to support the police in whatever we do. So let me go to the first question from the Nigerian newspaper, who talked about, oh, Abarcian. Is it Abarcian? Oh, okay. Okay, Radio Nigeria, sorry, I beg your pardon. Okay. You are talking about your younger days when you used to see police barracks being renovated, a portion of it, 1 or 2 blocks, while when you go inside, you don't find anything. And you wanted to know what we are doing to improve the welfare of the police, as definitely police cannot work effectively in that kind of environment. I entirely agree with you, and I believe maybe you missed a few of things that I said. Otherwise, we are already aware of this, and we're paying special attention to the renovation of police barracks and police formations. You have to have a very serene environment for the police to perform. So we're aware of this, and we're giving it the needed attention that it deserves. I believe we are already aware. Maybe we have forgotten because it has been a very long-standing story of paucity of funds, a very poor budgeting of the police, particularly in the days that you are talking about when you are young. The police was badly funded. We have never had it as good as we are having it today. And I want to assure you that the Police Trust Fund and the Police Force Headquarters are now paying special attention to the renovation and construction of new barracks and new offices for the police. Right now, I'm having a memo in the council, which is coming up probably, which came up last week, and we're trying to sort out a few issues with the Abuja Development Control towards ensuring that we provide befitting accommodation for our police officers. So we are on this, and I want to assure you that we'll give it the due attention that is required so that we will have the support and understanding of the police who are using these dilapidated structures all over the country. From Liberty Radio, he's saying, and I agree with him also, with the right equipment, the police will do their best or better. He talked about how the police in Kasina are performing incredibly well. So he's asking us to tell what we are doing to ensure that all this is being distributed across the country. He saw what we are distributing, and he saw the magnitude of the equipment and the operational vehicles that we are buying. And he saw how we are trying to, what do you call it, try to ensure that our policemen are well dressed. And, but he said he's only seen this in Abuja. The DIG is here. I'm sure he will bear me witness that whatever we distribute to the force, give to the force headquarters, is being distributed in all the states of the Federation, particularly the security-prone areas, states. These are our priorities, but we try to be as fair as we can to distribute to all states, because like we know, security issues are things that are moving from place to place. So you can never know where it is. So you have to be everywhere. I think you're not getting it very correctly. Of course, you are here in Abuja, so you see us on a daily basis. But we are everywhere. These vehicles are being distributed everywhere. Whatever equipment we have, they are not for keep here. We are distributing them to all the commands and formations for the use of our policemen. But we take note of your suggestion, you take note of your advice. The EIG is here representing the Inspector General of Police, and I think they have taken note. I don't know whether he would want to say something when I finish this presentation. The Sun newspaper is talking about wanting to know why Magu was promoted. Well, this is an issue that should have been addressed by the Police Service Commission, who have the statutory responsibility to conduct promotions for police. They are not here, and I am aware that the Police Service Commission is directly under the presidency, so I cannot speak for them. And, but what I know is that Mr. Magu has already retired, and I think that's all I can tell you now. The fact that he was promoted is a matter for the Police Service Commission to maybe throw more light on. And I'm not aware of the position of government on the report you are talking about, and I think it is still being under consideration. And it doesn't mean that when he retires, the laws will not catch up with him whenever he is found guilty of one thing or the other. So I think it is not completely a finished business. Thank you. You also wanted to know the latest on Abba Kyari. The issue of Abba Kyari, you all know where it is. It's a matter in court. So for me to talk about it is amount to sub judice. So please, let's wait for the decision of the court on the matter, and we'll all be there to wish the court the best in whatever decision it takes on the matter. Business day. I like your position. You have drawn attention to the fact that policing strategy now is no longer about having motorcades, AK-47, and other security gadgets. What is required now is high-tech for you to win a war on insurgents or whatever you are fighting. I agree with you, and maybe you did not hear me well. I indicated our efforts in moving towards technology-driven policing. And that is the way to go, and we are moving towards that direction. But you know, the police is a civil institution, and we are not even emphasizing on this arms and ammunition. What we are emphasizing is to ensure that we, as civilian as we are, try to ensure that we resolve issues without having to use firearms or anything. And with the support of the community, with the support of Nigerians, the police doesn't need to use firearms. But we will have them, and we are having them in case there is need to use them. But what is most important is the technology, like you said, and we are paying special attention to this, and we know the whole world is going that direction, and this administration is not unmindful of that direction, and we are trying to pursue to ensure that policing is technologically driven, and it's going to be a modern day warfare, and we will make sure that our police in this country are having the best technology to fight these criminalities. So please support us in whatever we do. We are out there for you, and the police is always ready and willing to support whoever is in need of our support. And in the same vein, we also need your support. So that's how it is. I hope I have tried to answer all the questions that have been raised. I don't know whether Liam would want to say anything. Oh, okay. Hmm? Three or two? Okay, okay. Channel TV. China. Okay, China TV. Okay. I'm sure they're going to support us. Okay, China.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, Vanguard. Okay.
Honorable Minister, sir, my name is John Bosco Abakuru. I write for Vanguard. You told us that you have trained 25,000 constabularies, for community policing. So I want to find out, actually, whether you have commenced implementation of community policing. What role have the communities where the policemen are operating from, what roles do they have to play? And
are you talking about the community or the constabulary?
Community policing one, whether you have started the implementation, where they are operating, the policemen are operating, if there is any role the community is expected to play in community policing, and what are the considerations in deploying officers to those communities? That's the first question, sir. Second, with due respect, sir, SA, sir, very important one, sir. The issue of unknown gunmen has been, the issue of unknown gunmen has attracted a lot of comments. There has been conspiracy theory on that. And even yesterday, the outlawed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, have called on security operatives to deal with people enforcing sit-at-home in Southeast, calling them criminals, that they are not the people, enforcing sit-at-home. So I want to find out, with the available intelligence before you, who are these unknown gunmen? Are they ghosts? Are they spirits that they cannot be unveiled and tried? Thank you.
Okay. Good morning. My name is Ralia Tadenekon from Classic FM and The Beat. My question has to do with the recruitment process. The police force has actually always, even everybody knows that there's been shortage of personnel. What is the latest update on the recruitment of personnel, especially with the controversies surrounding it? Then secondly, there's been repeated calls for psychology or psychiatric evaluation for the police personnel. I'm sure you've actually seen the latest video of the lady dragging wheel with a driver of recent. Are we going to continue to see such a terrible situation amongst the police force? Then lastly, the NSAS protest. What is the latest update about it? Has all the issues been addressed adequately? Thank you.
Please, rules of engagement. One question per reporter. Dalia, you broke the rules.
Good morning, Honorable Minister. My name is Olatunji Salio. I report for the Chinese news agency. Sir, I just want to know if the Police Affairs Ministry is collaborating with any foreign countries to acquire surveillance equipment to better provide security in trouble spots across the country.
Okay, Bill. Okay, therefore. So you want him to answer first? You want him to answer before the online? Okay.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, okay. Yes, Vanguard. You are trying to know, one, whether we have started the implementation of community policing program, and two, what is the role of the community in the community policing program. I think I have said it here, that it has commenced, and we couldn't have trained 25,000 constabularies if the program has not started. So the program is on course, and is in all the 36 states of the Federation, and these constabularies have been posted to their various communities, and like I said in my presentation, to do a lot of policing activities in those areas, and to add visibility of the police in those communities. And the responsibility of the community in which these constabularies are being posted is to cooperate with these constabularies to ensure that they assist them in sharing intelligence, they assist them in reporting cases that need to be reported, and to assist them in resolving issues that are locally, that can easily or locally be resolved. So the community policing program is there for the community to ensure that they collaborate with these constabularies to provide peace in their communities. I hope I have answered your question. To the Classic FM
second one.
Okay. Okay, yes, okay, it's double barrel question. Okay, the unknown gunmen, you want to know who they are? And, and I want to tell you that they are unknown gunmen. And they are also criminals, they are terrorists, and we are dealing with them in the language they understand. Yes. So Classic FM, she's talking about recruitment of police, which she said is becoming very controversial. I don't know how controversial, but I want to tell her that I've already given a report on this. You will recall that Mr. President has directed us to recruit 40,000 constables within his second tenure. We have so far done 20,000. We're on the third tranche of this recruitment, and I think in the next 1 month or two, we'll be concluding the third tranche, and we will be having about 30,000 constables on our payroll. So, but talking about the psychological tests and the other tests that you are talking about, I want to assure you the DIG is here, that we are taking every possible measure to ensure that we conduct thorough examinations, very extensive screening, including medical tests, to ensure that what we are recruiting is not just any junk. We are recruiting the best of hands to ensure that we support the principle of good policy in the country. I am not aware of what you are talking about. One lady, I have not seen it, but some of these things sometimes they happen in every organization. But I take exception I'm not aware of what the issue of the lady you are talking about, but I want to believe that there is high morality in the police formations, and we are doing our best to ensure that we recruit the best from the society. You wanted to know how far we have gone on the NSAS demands, and I want to believe that these demands, they all boil down to welfare of the police, and so that there will be a steady engagement between the police and Nigerians. And more than half of my presentation is talking about one, re-equipping, retooling, and welfare packages that we are extending to the police, just to ensure that we motivate them, we encourage them to be as civil as possible. And these are some of the demands that the NSAS came with. And Mr. President has clearly accepted these demands, and we are making every effort to ensure that we listen to the youth of this country, and we try to address these demands. And this is what we are doing. Okay. Okay. He wanted to know whether the Ministry of Police Affairs is relating with other international organizations or countries to solicit or to work hand in hand towards the support of the police. Yes, we are not doing it alone. particularly we are relating a lot with China, like you are aware. These CCTV cameras were financed through loans from Exim Bank of China. Presently, we're procuring so many equipments from China and many other countries. We are relating to ensure that we have the best equipment for the police from these countries that we think we can relate. So we are relating with several countries and organizations. Some of them come to us directly to extend their support to us. And the police is for everybody. And I think we're aware of this. And that's why we're extending our hands of fellowship to China and other countries for the support, so that together we build the police of right to all Nigerians.
So before we go to as I go into the online questions, let's put it on record that the first PRO is there, and I must say that he has a very robust engagement in the media. Like the incident that Classic FM mentioned where somebody was fighting, dragging with a policeman. Once the information it gets to his notice, I know, because I follow him, I find out that before long he responds, and before the end of the day he was telling you that the officer or the following day the first officer has been identified and things are being done to address that. I think we should, it deserves some, not clapping, it deserves some recommendation, some commendation. Yeah. So, Kayla Megwa wants to know. Yes, she reports for channels, but she can't be here, she's monitoring online. She says, the incident yesterday at Day, any information on what caused the chaos and what's been done to ensure this does not happen in the nation's capital again? Another guy. Another person is the man, his name is Man Like Dre. He's asking, why should the police be using AK-47 on the streets? You guys should start using pistols. The other questions on NSAS, you have addressed it. Femi Akonde, it's on welfare, it's been addressed. Timothy is on welfare too. He says, what is the police doing to ensure safety of school children? What is the police doing to ensure the safety of school children nationwide, since they seem to be soft targets for kidnappers? Then, I think the last question. I think that's all for now, sir. Yes.
Yes, the incident in Day was a very unfortunate one. I was following it yesterday on television and other media platforms. It was unfortunate, and you may be aware that this thing happened only yesterday, and out of concern and commitment to duty, the Minister of FCT was there, and we understand that the adjoining markets were all closed, and he's arranging a meeting with all the leaders of market organizations there to ensure that a repeat of this thing does not happen. believe this is the first step to take. And there are other issues that the FCT minister also noticed. And some people who are not doing their jobs very well. Some people who are just trying to do things for their own selfish reasons, and hence the clashes between the adjacent markets was resulting in the death of about 5 people or so. So we're aware of this, and I believe the Minister of FCT went there with CP, FCT, with so many other policemen supporting him. I came from my house to this place, so I have not read my sit reps. I cannot tell you now what we are doing, but I know the police is on top of the situation, and we are going to go into it to ensure that a repeat of that unfortunate development did not reoccur. Why should the police be using AK-47? They should be using pistol instead. I think it's a more civil and a more modern approach to situations. But let me say that why you see AK-47 being used on the road, not everywhere in the town. Police have no business with AK-47 when you are not on duty, on highways, on checkpoints. So you see them with AK-47, because that's where these bandits, these terrorists, unleash a lot of terror on the highways and in suburbs. So we have to have people who are ready to face them. But a lot of our policemen are using pistols. Even those of them who are in front of you are with their pistols now. Of course, because they are here, they disarm them, but they are always with their pistols. So we take a note of this, and I want to assure you that the police is very mindful of who is to use AK-47 and who is to use pistol. Yes. On safety of school children nationwide, maybe you are only here in Abuja, but the police is doing its best in our schools to ensure that they provide the needed security in those schools. In fact, government has delegated this responsibility to state governments to organize, to select schools that they think they require this security. And I think many states have endeavored to do that. And wherever there is need for police security in schools, the police are there assisting other security agencies to ensure peace for our children and for the staff of these institutions. We are there, and I believe if you don't see us in schools, it means government does not want police in those schools, because we can only operate in places where there is need for our service. You know, this country is very extensive. Our population is more than 200 million. Of course, the police is everywhere, but our population will not be adequate enough to cover everywhere. But we are doing our best to cover as much schools as we can within the limit of what we can do and within the limit of what is required of us to do. I hope I have answered the questions. Thank you very much.
give me that one.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Before I say thank you to everyone, I would like to please appeal our friends in the media to look at how you played the Magu story. The minister said the law will catch up with him. I'm sure that was not meant to be in the. What he was trying to say is if his report is released and he has questions to answer, then he will answer. It's possible to sensationalize that angle. So please, let's not do that, please. And then I'd like to thank the Honorable Minister, Alhaji Dingyadi, for obliging us coming here to brief us on what the ministry is doing, and he has done that lucidly. It has been comprehensive. I'd just like to ask us to please report fairly. And then I want to appreciate those who came with him. Mr. Temitope Fashedemi is the permanent secretary in the ministry. Thank you for coming. We want to thank DIG Sanusi Lemu for representing the Inspector General of Police. The first PRO, CSP Muyiwa Adejobi, is our friend and brother. We thank you for coming. Okay. Mr. Mohammed Yahaya is acting executive secretary, Nigeria Police Trust Fund. Bolaji O. Kazim is assistant director of public relations unit. CSP Osai Gbovu, Honorable Minister's Press Secretary. Inspector Josephine Oyido is of the Minister's Secretariat. And Mrs. Margaret Aziz is director in the ministry. Well, I don't know where to place Assistant Inspector General Adiroti. Whether he's with them or with us. He's everywhere. But we know that he works in the State House here in the office of the Chief of Staff to the President. But this is his constituency, so he cannot but identify with that constituency. I want to also thank members of the Presidential Communication Team who have put this together. Thank you for your good work week after week that sees us hosting this State House press briefing. I also want to thank members of the media. Every Thursday we call you to please attend this briefing, and you do, and you report copiously. And by that, the public knows what the President Muhammadu Buhari administration is doing. Thank you very much for your partnership. Once again, Honorable Minister, thank you. We wish, when next we invite you, we trust that you will come. Thank you very much.
I will create the indulgence of the Honorable Minister to grant maybe a 5-minute interview in Hausa. Okay. You will grant us a 5-minute interview in Hausa. Yes.